East Palo Alto is a scrappy and spirited city in the heart of Silicon Valley. Surrounded by the wealth and power of its neighbor Palo Alto, its residents have mostly been left out of the region's prosperity. In the past decade, however, the city has undergone a dramatic facelift. Although its poverty and unemployment rates remain high, the city's redevelopment agency has lured a chic Four Seasons hotel, international law firms, and an IKEA-anchored shopping center to town. Hundreds of new jobs have been created. But city leaders say much of the progress yet to come could be in jeopardy if California Governor Jerry Brown's budget proposal is enacted. The newly elected governor has a $26 billion budget hole to fill. Both Republicans and Democrats have reason to loathe his solutions, a combination of deep cuts to social services and an extension of temporary tax increases for 5 more years. Under the governor's plan, many state functions would filter down to counties, and redevelopment agencies charged with cleaning up urban blight would be eliminated altogether. East Palo Alto would be hard hit by the changes. East Palo Alto's unemployment is double the region's rate, and poverty is high. Many here rely on free food and other donated goods to survive. Fueled by the state recession, the number of needy residents served at the decades-old ecumenical hunger program has been steadily growing.
Now, with the needs growing in the area, it's kind of getting out of just saying an emergency basis, because a lot of our families are feeling like it's always an emergency basis, because basically the incomes are not enough to make the ends meet, so they're needing our help very frequently. And some of our families, we're serving them each week a box. Some of our families come at the end of the month, but more so I would say either 2 to 4 times a month. And lately we've been getting people to come in maybe on a Monday or Tuesday, and they'll come back on a Friday needing help again. And it's because of all the cutbacks, people are needing more assistance. But with some of the families, you can look at it right off and see after they pay their bills, there's nothing left. So they rely on EHP for their food. And I don't know, without us, I don't know basically what would happen, because there's no other resources available at times.
She says with further cuts to the social safety net, the number of folks who rely on donated goods for their daily survival will only increase, and her nonprofit agency will be stretched to meet the demand.
Good morning, East Palo Alto Civic Center. Hello? Yeah, Madam Matter, today's a complimentary breakfast.
Indeed, food insecurity is high in East Palo Alto, where hundreds of elderly residents rely on free breakfast and lunch at the local senior center. The next state budget is expected to scale back basic grants for the elderly and infirmed. It will also further reduce the hours of their home health care aides.
Well, a lot of people come out here because money is short. And most of the seniors here is on SSI, and the government has cut their checks. And so that creates a hardship for them.
We could serve more if we had more food, if we had more resources. Clearly, it's youth, it's seniors, it's disabled folks, it's the mentally ill, it's the infirm that are going to be impacted the most by these cuts.
I played in this neighborhood. I know everybody. That's Shirley Hughes, and that's Mr. Thompson, and that's the Gibsons, that's the Thomases, that's Elizabeth Lane.
While East Palo Alto is still a city with many struggling residents, its landscape has been significantly transformed over the past decade. Marie McKenzie is one of the city's redevelopment managers. Born and raised in East Palo Alto, she cares deeply about the city's fate. Marie's job is to make sure that businesses in the redevelopment area are well maintained and that they hire local residents at a 30% rate. Most days she can be found meeting with local managers to stress the importance of hiring East Palo Alto residents.
Great idea, and one of the ideas was to make sure that in this particular retail center that there's 30% local hire. And so that 30% is the good faith effort that we ask people to put forth. However, many stores achieve that 30% and beyond. You guys are one of them, so I really want to thank you for that.
Yeah. At the city's first full-scale grocery store in 50 years, fresh produce and other basic necessities are finally available in town. Marie hopes to keep the revitalization of East Palo Alto alive. While the city's 2 redevelopment projects have attracted desperately needed revenue, there is still one major project yet to be realized: the creation of a civic, residential, and business center on a still contaminated site near the San Francisco Bay. Yet the mayor of East Palo Alto sees some wisdom in the governor's plan. He says the agencies in charge of major projects in struggling cities like his have often operated in secrecy, cutting deals that leave local residents out of the decision-making process.
And I think we're going to have a slower pace of economic development into the future if redevelopment agencies go away. But I still think that there's the ingenuity, the wherewithal, the fortitude within cities, and I think in particular in East Palo Alto, for us to figure out a way that we can move some of these plans forward.